Okay. It helps if I hit the go live button. I just realized I had started the broadcast and didn't hit the go live thing, which probably caused some of that grief there for a second. I think it's about to start. Hopefully. Okay, good. All right, you've got me now. Excellent. It's not showing on, oh, because I haven't actually hit the play button on there. There we go. I don't really want to watch myself though. Let's just stop that. If I hit. There we go. All right, start again. Good. Thank you, Will. And hello, Will from KMac Vintage. Nice to talk to you in real time. I've gotten used to over the last few months, obviously email, watching your videos, but I've never actually talked to you in real time. So nice to talk to you. And hello, welcome to Macintosh. Where are you? So, Will, you're in Cayman Islands. So what, it must be evening time for you. What about you, Mark? Whereabouts are you located? All right. So I'll start again. I started talking and then realized that I hadn't actually started the stream properly. 8 p.m. there. Oh, good. Okay. Well, it's 11:05 here on a very, I don't know, partly sunny, partly cloudy day. All right. So, as I was saying before, I didn't start the stream properly. I have put that SE30 back up on the shelf up there, the case anyway. The case I'm going to shelve to deal with the issues inside there another day and try to fix the metal and potentially have a look at that analog board and see the actual power supply, sorry. So yeah, I've now got the logic board and I have given it an extensive cleaning, shall we say. So okay, so you're at 9 p.m. there. Okay, so both over there in the US and very much in the evening on Saturday. Yes, so I'm in the future. It is it's a Sunday morning. It's quite quiet here. Yesterday was the AFL Grand Final, which is a big sporting event, football event here particularly in Melbourne. I wish I had the lottery numbers. And that was what most of everyone, at least in this part of Australia, was focused on yesterday. Brisbane Lions actually were the winning team. I don't really follow the football, but I do know that much. Other than that, I can't give you the lottery numbers. I did buy a lottery ticket this morning for next week's draw because it's $30 million and that would be lovely. I could retire and do fun stuff. So, all right, so back to this. The case is up there and the logic board I've given an extensive clean. Let me just switch over to this camera. So, as you can see, this is what we've got now. Now, it looks considerably better than that video that I just showed a minute ago. Not perfect, but a lot of the crud is now gone off this board. Basically what I did is I soaked it for several hours in isopropyl alcohol, the whole board, gave it a good soaking, used this brush, gave it a good brush over there. That helped to start to lift a lot of this rust and all the acid crud that's there. And then I ran it through the ultrasonic cleaner about 4 times, I think. My ultrasonic cleaner is that one there in the back corner, and it doesn't quite fit this board. It's good for a classic board, like one of those ones. It fits there perfectly. Even the color classic boards go in there quite well. This one doesn't quite fit, so I kind of have to do it in half and half. So I sort of half have it sitting in there. and then the other half sort of poking out. But so I sort of just did half and then flip it around. But now, as a result of that, so yeah, ran it through there about 4 times. And it's not bad. The back, now, when you look at that view there, this looks like 10 litres. Yes, it is 10 litre ultrasonic cleaner, I think. I can't remember actually. I think it is. I need a bigger one. But I don't really have the space for a bigger one, so it kind of works. It does the job. This is cleaned up pretty well. This actually, you may think this is crud. That's actually just back to bare copper now. So I actually do need to treat this. So basically all of that's gone back to bare copper, and where's my little screwdriver thing there? This I feel like is not, I mean, it's the UV mask. It's just very loose. See, even if I just gently scratch away at that, see, it just peels right off. Look at that. So luckily it hasn't actually damaged the copper, but it's definitely damaged the UV mask. So I feel like I need to actually get all of this sort of light green stuff off before I retreat that. Looking around on here, on the back at least, there's still a little bit of crud around a lot of these sort of parts. Whatever that is, I believe, I can't remember, I can't read that upside down. Yeah, it's missing a capacitor there, so that capacitor, which is obviously one of the birdseed capacitors, is completely gone. I think it's that one, yeah. So C46 looks like it's the only one that's missing. Yep, C46. All the other ones are still there. Actually, I think C65's gone as well. Yeah, so C46, C65, and if I was replacing them, to be honest, I feel like C64, this one here, probably needs to be replaced as well, because it also looks like it's seen better days. But yeah, otherwise, and up here around the CPU, not too bad. That leg is still a little bit sus. I'll put it under the microscope in a second. The bits where it got up here, they all cleaned up pretty well. Again, I think it just needs to be scraped back a little bit and repainted with some fresh UV mask. Let me just get the this. All right. So let's have a look, starting in this bottom corner. So that capacitor is gone. I mean, that was completely gone. I didn't even see that capacitor. I imagine that was probably part of the rubble that was in there. It looks like it's damaged that trace pretty badly. C46 is 100. No, in fact, yeah, if you've got the other ones, Will, it would be good to know, because I haven't looked them up yet. I've got the schematics open in another browser window, but I don't know if that's... Oh, there may still be some real metal underneath this. Not the best trace though. Yeah, pad's missing. Yeah, I think you're right. There's still a bit of copper there, but yeah, this capacitor has completely lost its traces. Obviously, there's 2 diodes here. They're gone. Yeah. Do you know what the diodes do? Are they related to, obviously they're probably related to the battery, I imagine, that was here. So go into these areas. I mean, there's a fair bit of, when you sort of look around some of these pads, this is the first time I've actually had this under the microscope to have a look at. There's a fair bit of damage all around this parts. Battery and RTC, okay, yeah. That's what I was assuming it was related to that. I tried to clean this up a bit yesterday, but I couldn't really see it very well. It's still got a fair bit of crud hanging on to this chip. Tell you what, this comes off a lot easier now that this has been ultrasonicked. This was rock hard yesterday when I was, or on Friday when I was trying to do this. I actually kind of thought this chip was stuffed, but maybe it's not. I'm just going to get some isopropyl alcohol on this. Yuck. So I think what I'm going to do, yeah. I don't know, it's actually not bad there. Once you get all this stuff out, I really kind of feel like this chip needs to come out though and be redone, but it actually looks okay. I'd be interested to have a look on the bottom of that one in a minute and have a look. Where the damage is though is all here. Look at these things. Yeah. I mean, this isn't great. I was having a look before. Let me just bring this up. So this is the schematics of this board. I was trying to work out what these things are. Obviously, I assumed they were something to do with the memory. And I think, I read down here, there we go, where are we? Yeah, so RAM mux. All these UG3, so UJ2, UJ3, UJ4 are all RAM muxes. And if I go back to that, that's those beasties there. So if we go back to this chip, so what's that? That's UJ2. Which is this one over, oops. Oh, touchy mouse, there we go. UJ2. So it goes from the ROM sim and obviously goes to all the RAM modules. So I'm assuming this is going to have it, even if this booted, it's going to have some serious memory problems, because these chips are gone. What I haven't actually done yet is have a look around to see whether these are replaceable. I'm assuming you can get new ones of these. Or do I need to steal them off some other board? I don't know if you're still around, Will. If you know whether these RAM Mux chips, and actually these resistor packs as well, I'm curious about. So these ones actually, like, there was crud over on these the other day as well, and they actually don't look too bad. Like, they've come up actually pretty well. I just realised that camera image is flipped. If I can flip that around. Oh, really? You can get the new... Are they just like, can you get them from Mouser? I don't know whether I can flip this. Actually, I probably can. If I just... resize this window. There we go. I'm just going to do this live and flip this around so that it's actually the right way around. Option. And lock. All right. Yeah, Mouser has them. Oh, good. That'd be great. Yeah, if you could. Because what I'll probably do is need to try and get some of those. Do you normally reuse them when you reload boards, or do you replace them with new? So I feel like these ones have to just, they're just horrid. These need to all come off. And then that'll allow me to clean here. But where I'm worried about is this one here. Like, that actually looks like the whole leg's gone from that one. So the chip's definitely stuffed, but there's obviously traces, and that trace is a real, that's definitely the trace that's going to that one there. And that trace obviously... Yeah, okay. So you replace them if they're bad, yeah. This one's this out of all of them, that one, I mean, it's definitely got a bad leg there. Probably going to that one. I definitely think these chips just need to come off and have a look. The resistor pack. Yeah. Every leg on those chips are used. It's oh good, excellent. Well, that's wonderful news. Oh, and you know what? I just realised that is still, I don't know why. I'm just going to now try flipping it the other way now. Okay, there we go. Microscope camera was mirroring, and I kept looking up there and it was confusing me. RP is 1K, can we get? Okay, good. Yeah, I mean that I think that's probably the safest bet with that resistor pack. That looks just a bit like, if you can get brand new one, I'd rather replace that. Is every leg on those used? It doesn't actually look like there's a trace there. It looks like there could have once been a trace there, but... Oh, there we go. Yeah, still got some copper on there. Yeah, all used. Okay, fair enough. So I wonder if there used to be a trace between these two. I'd have to go and have a look at a picture or a proper board that isn't as messed up as this one. And then we go up this way. Obviously this is underneath where the battery used to be, so again, like my general, like you can obviously see here, my general rule of thumb with these, when you see the really black traces, they're stuffed, like that one there. That trace is completely gone. That one's got some risk signs going on it there. Although scraping at it actually seems to be still there. Obviously the diodes, I assume we can get those, and the oscillator I assume as well. Like I've still got the oscillator, but it's got very short legs. So I feel like I need to replace that with new. And even if this is stuffed, although I'm still not convinced that it is, the more I scrape at that, the more it seems to be it just looks okay. It just needs a good clean. Yeah, I know. I feel like there is a lot of trace work in this board. And look, I'm okay with this potentially being a reloaded board, to be honest. I mostly wanted to just tackle this weekend because I'm going to go and do that event next weekend, and I wanted to get in a bit of repair work, putting some new capacitors on, just that sort of stuff, to see whether I'll just practice my skills at it, basically. How do you can remove safely and reuse? Yeah, that's... Well, I'm very tempted to do reload. I can guarantee that. The problem with reloading at the moment for us in Australia is it's super expensive for me to send stuff to the US, or impossible. So when I last sent you boards, probably, when was that? That would have been earlier this year, or no, towards the end of last year when I did that, and then I think I got them back from you at the start of this year. You could still send to the US. Australia Post have suspended all package deliveries to the US at the moment, and that makes life very hard. Although apparently I heard one of my relatives was telling me yesterday that they're about to announce, or we're going to revise as of October 7th, their changes, which probably means new costs for it. It was just becoming really expensive to send stuff to the US, so Australia Post suspended that. And that's how I sent it to you last time. I could probably send it to you via FedEx or something like that. But yeah, so that's my challenge of late, is either getting things from the US. I mean, getting things from the US is ridiculously expensive. For the last 5 years, probably since COVID, really, it's just like when I first started to collect some of these things, you could get stuff off eBay from the US, and postage was a little bit expensive, not too bad. But now it's just phenomenally expensive. Like you buy something off eBay, you end up paying more postage than you do for the actual device itself. But then I can buy stuff from the UK, and the postage is ridiculously cheaper compared to that. I mean, it's still not cheap, but it's considerably cheaper. That there, where is it? On other shoulder. That strawberry iMac there, I actually just got that from the US. Sorry, from the UK. I was one iMac color short to complete my collection. So I managed to find one that was over there on eBay reasonably cheap. And the postage was reasonable. So I was like, I rolled the dice. I was a bit worried that it would come here and be destroyed. But the guy who packed it phenomenally well. Works perfectly. It needs a new flyback transformer, which is one of my next projects. I'm actually working on, at the moment, actually trying to, I've just got delivery of some new flyback transformers for the slot loader iMacs. So essentially that's one of my next little projects, is to try and put that on there. I've got another one pulled apart at the moment. They just fall apart though, those computers, the moment you touch them, so because of all the plastics. A good practice board, yes. That event is Bruce, so I'll just need to scroll up. I hope he's still going to the event. I haven't heard anything. He definitely said last week that he's still planning to go to the event on Saturday next week. So I haven't heard any updates on that. So I'm hoping he is. I hope his mother is back home now and going well. Yeah, good practice board. And would you ever try a reload? I could be tempted to. I just need the time, I think, is the thing. Like I look at the way Will does it, and like you knock that off very, very quick, and that's obviously lots of good practice. So it's a potential thing for me at some point to try doing a reload myself, but Will, you also do just very good work. Like that board looked like it was from Apple itself. It was phenomenally good. Mauser US is actually not too bad. I can buy parts from the Mauser, and I think they actually, like, I don't know, their shipping is fine as long as you buy up to a certain amount, so it's actually not bad. And yeah, I can sometimes get stuff from Asia pretty easily as well. I mean, I think actually a lot of Mauser stuff in Australia comes from Asia itself anyway. 3 to 4 hours, yeah. I think it would take me 3 to 4 months. Okay, so looking at that sim, ROM sim, I feel like that's is a goner. Yeah, they do smell nice. They smell like laundry. That was when I opened that. It just, all of those boards smelled like freshly laundered towels. It was lovely. So even though this has been through the ultrasonic cleaner, you can see, I feel like they just need to be scraped and to try and get that off. Yeah, that's gone. Thank you. I'm trying to be a little bit optimistic for it. I assumed it was pretty much gone. And you can get these new still, can't you, these things? I mean, I think I'd want to get this up anyway, because like it's obviously a lot of crud has gone in underneath it. Blurry. I mean, my general thinking with this board, like I said, I was going to try this thing out with it, if it's in reasonable shape, which is what's it called? It's called a PDS ROM. So I bought this from K Colbert in Japan, and basically it goes on the PDS slot and obviously bypasses the dodgy ROM thing. You want me to flip it over? You can do that. Let's have a look. All right, goes to the bottom of this. Yeah, well, that's why I may take it with me next weekend, actually, just to be as a quick and dirty way to potentially power it up. I was kind of hoping that today I'd be able to like put new caps on this and try and clean it up a bit and try and boot it. But I look at those RAM Mux chips and I think there's no way this is just going to have memory issues all over the place. So yeah, these pins aren't great. Look at that. Looks like it's growing something. It's amazing that now that I've ultrasonic cleaned this comes off so easily. Never get those pins out, really. But just because it's got so much, geez, look at that. Because it's so corroded. So is this we're calling it, Will? You're saying that this is definitely a reloaded board, you reckon? Yeah, cement. That's what it kind of looks like cement, to be honest. Ugh. Yeah, corrosion. Yeah. Yes, reload. Too much time and work and unknown with it down the road. Corrosion will continue. And that was pretty much like that board that I sent you last time. I had fixed that and got that sort of working well, and it worked for a good solid year or two as my little backdrop computer that sits in my office back in the house, and would be on every day doing its flying toaster thing, and then one day it just started developing memory issues, and I think that's what you said at the time, that, and I think when you actually reloaded that board, that just the corrosion had just become worse on it. I tell you what, it's been rock solid since, though. That board has been going awesome in its Mac Effects case. Yeah. Yeah, way too many pads missing. Yeah, I haven't even thought about the vias, to be honest. That's a good point. I mean, I admittedly, even before I even started trying to repair this, I looked at that and thought, well, this ROM slot is pretty stuffed, and that's why I bought the PDS ROM, because I thought, well, maybe, but I'm just worried about the state of the. That's just flaking off. I'm just worried about the state of the these chips there and all the traces around them. I just feel like this board's going to have hideous amounts of memory problems, even if it does boot at some point in the future. Tempted to give this a bit of a try and give this a bit of a clean up over here just to see what this all looks like with this white crud on it. There was a barcode label on there before it got ultrasonicked. That did not survive. Where do you want me to turn over and have a look at, Will? What area? Oh, like here. Yeah. Yeah, actually you can see they're just basically holes now, aren't they? So we zoom in on those. Let me see if I can get a bit closer on them. I need to loosen this off so we'll go down further. Ooh, vibrating. Okay, focus, focus, focus. Yeah, I think like this one here. Like that trace is stuffed. It's got odd little bits of metal still there. Wow. Yeah, I can see what you mean. There's like literally the internals of that are completely gone. That was obviously going to the battery. Well, this is like ground zero of there, so that's where most of the damage is. Still a bit of crud stuck on the board there. Now it will be it'll be definitely a challenge to try and do it. I feel like I need to take time off work so I can actually focus on it. It's sticky. Oh, okay, so some of those V's go to the other side, but then nothing from it, so it's an internal V only. Okay. So what I think I'm going to do, actually one thing I want to have a look at is this CPU. Let's get some focus on this. I want to have a look at its pins because there was one there that was particularly bad looking. But actually, you know what? I reckon that's okay. Like this, that's where the rust was, but it looks like it's rusted the solder, maybe? And there's now no solder left around this pin, but the pin itself to the CPU still looks okay. 1 to 2 hours per week. Okay. Yeah. I'm very tempted to do it at some point, just because it'd be an interesting challenge. I've got another SE30 that has some trace damage on it that affects the SCSI. I've actually fixed it. Like I've just ran a trace to the SCSI chip from another area, and it actually works fine now. But my kind of feeling was that that would also be something good to try and reload at some point. CPU pins are tough, are they? Yeah, well that's a good sign then. Do you socketize when you reload them? Like, I can't remember. I know the one that I sent you was a like this one, a soldered chip. I can't remember internally whether you actually soldered that back on or you actually put it in a socket. Yeah, socket the CPU, yeah. I mean, I feel like that was, Apple obviously started that for a reason, and when they originally did this and then did a bit of a cost-cutting measure, like they worked out they could save some money by not actually doing that. Yeah, so I think you're right. That pin looks really good. And has come up nicely. You're working on a reload board for a Mac Portable. Wow. I've want a Mac Portable. My desire to want them, and actually I'm about to get one, is the challenge. They sell ridiculous prices when they come up here. They don't come up very often. Funnily enough, because I'm in groups on Facebook, I see them come up on in like Facebook Marketplace, and but in the US, which is completely useless to me. I see them come up there every so often, but very rarely do they come up in Australia. Yeah, I look on the Japan auction sites that we've got. I haven't looked for that one for a while though. I wonder what was on the others. What was here? It feels like there's 2 legs here, but there doesn't feel like there's anything on there. I'm just curious what is on the other side of those pins. Oh, they're just veers through to the other side of the board. So that is those 4 little beasties there. Yeah, look, I'm just the more I look at this, the more I look at the damage on the traces. I'll tell you what, I hope this event next weekend, I'll be interested to see what the computers are like, because they've advertised it as unknown condition. So that could go many ways. Unknown as in it's like this, complete disaster internally, or unknown, it's just a mild case of recapping. I have several Macintosh Pluses. They do crop up in Australia a lot. I think that's when Apple really, lots of people started buying them. So there's lots of them around. And the good thing about them is they don't deteriorate too bad. So obviously sometimes have a bit of a battery damage. Battery damage from the battery on the analog board, and that sometimes does a number on the analog board. And you obviously need recapping generally on the analog board, and you need that, I've just forgotten the name of it, thing replaced, otherwise it'll let out the magic smoke. Yeah, I think I've got, where are we? There's one there. Is there one there? There's one there. Down on there. That's, that's a 512. No, there's the Mac Plus up there. And that's working. That's, what's the deal with that one? I'm just trying to think. It's, I got that one Christmas time last year, and it's just, actually, it was actually in really good condition. I just needed to, I just needed the reefer, thank you. That's the reefer capacitor. I needed to replace that because it hadn't had that done. And I ended up swapping the flyback transformer on that one because it had a weird quiver. And I had another flyback transformer which I swapped it out with. And but it's a solid machine, works really well. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I think I'm just going to do some practicing for a little bit of some capacitor replacements, just because I want to practice for next weekend, and I feel like I'm going to have to probably reload this board because those chips just, and all around that battery area, just look pretty bad. So what I did in that first video the other day is I have done some trace repair. Sunflower iMac. Yeah, I've got the, do you mean the Flower Power? I think that's what they called it. I've got the Flower Power iMac. And it is in good condition. Again, my general thing with slot loader iMacs is if you don't pull them apart too much, they generally are okay. But when you have to replace the analog board or something like that in them, and getting them open and potentially the plastic's all breaking apart, is when it starts to get a bit hairy. I do have, I've got some of the new Mac Effects cases. Oh, okay, the chrome neck ones, like those, yeah. Yeah, so I've got that's my next project, is really to try and to put those new Mac Effects ones. As I said earlier, I'm doing a repair on this iMac at the moment. I've got his analog board out. You can see it's actually missing the flyback transformer. The flyback transformer has been completely removed off that because I've been doing tests, because this wasn't booting. It wasn't powering up properly. And I was pretty sure it was the flyback. And there's the flyback there. So I've now just got new flybacks. They arrived this week. And that's my next project. But yeah, I've got a few iMac G4s up there. They pop up every so often in Australia. They sold lots of them in Australia as well. I don't need any more. They're just a place to store. I've got one inside that I've put one of those Juicy Crumb boards in there, so that it actually is a HDMI display. So it's a 17-inch running as an external display. It sits in my background for all the people on my work Zoom calls to look at while I'm talking at them about work stuff that they're probably not interested in. All right. Traces in that area look good. Look at the caps by the power connector. Yeah, okay. You want to look at the caps by the power connector? Here we go. They actually look pretty good as well. Like if you looked in that other video before, the capacitors that were on this board, they were like it was weird. I've never seen capacitors when you actually cut them like that. They just sort of like sprayed out all this white powder. They were like just like normally they sort of have a bit of moisture in them still, or they're just dry, but these ones were had all like gone into this white powdery state. These actually look really good. Like in contrast, most of the other boards where I've done work on for an SE30, I'm just going to go up a bit higher so I can get a bit more of a wider angle view on this. I've had lots of damage up here. Like that board that you reloaded for me, Will, had lots of damage up around this area. And I did do some trace repairs or cleaned up the traces there, but these all look good. Yeah, so you're saying the SCC and the SCSI chip should be in good condition along with the ASC and the SWIM. Oh, I hope my videos didn't turn you off off them. Why? They're too hard to pull apart. Go to the cap right behind the PDS slot by the ABS and the VIA chips. Yeah, that one. That's this capacitor over here, you mean? Again, this all looks really good as well. So they actually, like, there's no real signs of damage in there. So whatever happened to those capacitors, when they went powdery, there was probably a good thing because it didn't actually leak all of its capacitor juice over this board. Unfortunately, the battery did a number on it though, so that's the unfortunate part about it. And that capacitor there, this one was really bad looking, and again, that actually cleaned up. And that's the first. Let me just get this in position so it doesn't actually move. I'm going to try and do some cleaning of this. I'm just going to turn my exhauster fan on. And a bit of flux on here. Tweezers. You want to have a look at the floating point unit. I think the floating point unit looks alright. Let me just try and get this off first and then I'll do that. There's definitely some crud on this. It's not taking the heat very well. Try and put some fresh solder on that and see whether that helps it. Oh, there we go. One leg gone. Oh, no, the leg stayed back on there. Huh. Came off and then it got back on. There we go. Ugh, yuck. So I've just ordered a new soldering iron. I finally took the plunge and ordered the one that Bruce just reviewed, the Finessi. I've had this one, which I bought off Amazon for a while. It's okay, it does the job. It doesn't dazzle me. So I finally decided that it was time to bite the bullet and get something a bit decent. And could get that Finessi one off AliExpress quite reasonably priced. So that should be hopefully here this week. Gee, they cleaned up actually really well. That I haven't quite finished yet, but that's... Yeah, this is my favourite soldering tip as well. It just seems to be the most universal without me having to swap things around, and does the most of what I want to do. Oh, you got a factory dummy iMac. Yeah, I was recently took a trip to New Zealand, and the friend of mine took me around the Auckland University in computer science department, and they have all of the vintage computer tech on display on each of the floors. It was awesome, and they actually had one of the displays that they used to have in Apple stores, which was basically all of the 5 colors in a glass cabinet. And so that actually is what really inspired me to try and repair all of my my various colored iMacs and get them working again, because I want to kind of recreate that display in my office. So I've got the iMacs all the colors are now working. I now need to work on the display side of it. But yeah, the ones in that display were all just the dummy ones. So they're just the CRT and the plastic case, basically, nothing else. I assume that's what yours is, yeah. You don't have all of them, you just got the lime one? Somebody in Australia was recently selling a set of them. I think I may have bid on them, and I did not win. Has the metal shields but no electrics, yeah. So the interesting thing about that, you've probably got plastic. Is that a plastic screen? So it's not a real CRT screen. I assumed, because I didn't, obviously the ones in Auckland, I didn't try to lift them or anything like that because they're in a cabinet, so I don't know how much they weighed, but I assumed it was just a CRT screen, but you're saying it's a plastic screen, because I was like, oh, well, that'd be really good to have, because then you've got a brand new CRT. Well, I've now got all of the colours of every iMac, and they're in various places. But I'm trying to. I need to do some work on them to get them working. Or probably like the slot loaders I'm talking about. They all work except that one that I lifted up before is my Blueberry slot loader. It's the only one that I know definitely does not work. So those traces cleaned up all right. Like, my only worry that is there. But yeah, what I'm intending to do is to have all my slot loaders working on the display, and so I bought some heavy duty shelving from Bunnings that I think I can use that will kind of allow me to reproduce that kind of 5 of them stacked on top. Collect all the keyboards and mice. Yeah, I have many of them. I don't know if I've got all of them. Okay, so that doesn't look too bad. And my theory is that trace is actually okay, now that I've scraped that out a little bit more. Yep, fine. Originally, when I started collecting the iMac, because I have a real thing for the iMacs. It was just I was 18 when they first came out, and I was at uni and I was doing part-time work, and I just remember being amazed, and we were starting to get them. So I have a real soft spot for them, and I wasn't originally intending to collect all the colours, but then I just sort of did it over time. Charcoal. You mean the grey ones? Oh, look at that, that came off easy. These ones are definitely in better condition up here. I'm having a mental blank on what colour that was. With the ruby mouse reds. No, I think they'd switched to the black mice by that stage. It's the later slot loaders. The colour you're talking about is graphite, is the grey one. I think by the time they, after they got rid of like the tray loaders, which were all the different colours, they had the puck mice. The next batch of slot loaders, which were colours, I think also had the coloured mice as well. And then the next lot, so around the 2000 era, when they went to indigo, ruby, sage, graphite, snow, they then became like the clear black one with the black keyboard. The keyboards and mice never matched them after that. Then they went indigo, Dalmatian, blue Dalmatian, didn't know it was called blue Dalmatian, flower power, graphite, and then the last lot were indigo, snow, and graphite. What I don't have, and I'm not even going to even tempt myself to try and do that, is like every individual version of all the different years of them. I just like I've settled on one of each color is enough. I just do not have the storage space. CRTs like that take up a lot of space. let's do these 3. I don't think they called it the magic mouse then. I can't remember what they called it though. Well, maybe they did. It's the magic mouse now, which is this mouse. That one. The more, I never really liked this mouse too much and generally replaced it. Like my main computer inside is an iMac. And I have a Logitech mouse on that because I like having a proper scroll wheel and 2 buttons and stuff like that. That kind of it's better ergonomically. Mighty Mouse. Thank you very much. So this is my general preferred approach to get these capacitors off. Like I sort of showed in that last video, is I've done the whole heat thing. I've got a heat gun here. I just don't love it. I mean, it might be because my heat gun isn't great. It's one of those ones that just does the heat from within the handle. And it was pretty cheap. It's like this soldering base station has a heat gun on the side of it. So I've always just found that I have to sit there and put a lot of heat on it, and it just stresses me out a little bit that I'm going to do more damage to the board. I can definitely do it, but I just have had a lot more luck with just chopping these capacitors off. Like I know some people do the whole twist the capacitor off. I don't like that. That stresses me out a little bit, and I just feel like you're going to do damage to the traces. But with this cutting measure, as long as you cut them like that, in line with where the traces are, it doesn't seem to put too much damage on or pressure on the pad. Generally though, I always just sort of try and work out like what's the best situation for the state that this board is in. And like the way these traces are, this one looks like they should be okay around this area of the board at least. Obviously it would have been a different story. How did that other side? Where did that go? Oh, there it is. Come here. Floating point. Oh, sorry. Yep, I forgot about that. Let me do that now. Let me get rid of this before I... Thank you. I think the floating point is actually pretty good. I don't know if I can actually get it on this. I need to get a better microscope. That's the edge of it. So that's obviously where all the damage is over this way. So that's the corner of the floating point unit. If I go up a bit higher, I can probably get it better in view. In a second, let me just move that out. I don't know if I can get this any higher. I think this floating point unit looks good. Like, if anything was going to have damage, it was going to be these pins over here. because they were in the danger zone. But all of these, I actually thought there was some damage up in this corner originally, but for this one, but I reckon it was just some surface crud that had got there. Row of chips, what do you mean? Look at the row of chips for video. What chips do you mean? Behind the RAM sims. So your video ROM chips. These all look pretty good. And see, like, even again, that's where that capacitor was. Like, I've had issues in the past with this UE8, but this doesn't look bad at all. Again, these capacitors that were on this board, they just kind of powderized themselves and then didn't look like they did any damage. So all of the chips basically up around this side, all look really in quite good condition. There's basically, effectively, if I sort of go back to this view, the damage on this board is basically here in the ROM. Let me get those lights out of the way. Yeah, basically new ROM sim there, and these, like you're sort of saying, the F28s and resistor pack, and obviously whatever traces and stuff. So so when you say easy, you're surprised. So you mean it's easy as in it's an easy recap. Sorry, a reloaded board. Yeah, I'm surprised about the capacitors as well. Like I said, they don't seem to have done any damage to any, like I've many times this board has caused, this capacitor has caused problems around this area, but this all looks clean, like particularly after the ultrasonic clean. Have you ever seen that experience where like the capacitors sort of like are just like white powder in them after that time? I mean, that's my dream capacitors, those ones. They the way they decided to go in the end just meant they cannibalized themselves. So it's definitely an easy reload. Okay, good. Well, let's have some conversations, Will. I'm just going to continue doing this. If I put new capacitors on this just to practice, will you reuse the capacitors on it? I assume you take them off. Good night, Mark. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining in. It's been good to have a chat today. Cool. Well, I may put new capacitors on it just to, like you said, practice. I want to get some practice in because next weekend I'm hoping the job is really just about some capacitor replacements. That would be lovely. So you think Okay, so the board, when the computer sits upside down. Well, that's what I was wondering how this one was stored. To be honest, I feel like it may have also been in some sort of upside down state. Although I don't know. Obviously, acid leaked through to the other side, so that kind of just means it was probably sitting straight upwards. I don't know what happened with these capacitors. Anyway, I'm quite happy with them. What about, I've got these polymer caps, like those ones. I've got the tantalums as well. But lately I've been putting the polymers on because they seem to, they fit better on the pads, really. You reckon there's damage on the floppy drive underside? Yeah, I suspect the floppy may have some problems in there. It was in a bit of a state because I think acid is sprayed up onto it. I'm not too perturbed. Yeah, I'd remove those with an iron as the plastic would melt with hot air. Yeah, okay. I'm not too perturbed about the floppy because I've actually got spare floppies. So worst case scenario, if the floppies are gone, I can just replace it. The metal bracket was a little bit rusted, but this one is. I must say, I find cleaning pads very relaxing. Oh, I didn't realise I had that still on that view. Oh, there we go, we'll put it on that one. I feel like using hot air on these is probably the fastest way because you just don't end up with like having to get the legs back off. And again, it stresses me. And when I do hot air, I like to make sure I mask everything off, so I use the hot air tape to mask everything off to try and make sure I don't damage anything, and maybe I'm a little bit too overprotective of it. I'm actually going to open my door so I get some fresh air in here. Had a little bit of a leg still sitting there. Okay. That's all of them. So I'll just give it a bit of a clean now. They've cleaned up really well. Like, I don't think there's any damage on any of that. If you're still there, Will, do you replace these capacitors, these big ones? Do you put new ones on? I've done it on a few boards. I think the one that I sent you, probably I'd replaced it with new. These ones look okay though. Like, or does it? Yeah, you replace. I think these will actually run without these in place, won't they? Both these ones look okay, but again, you're going to replace everything. You may as well put new ones on there. Yeah, these ones look neat. How long have I been going? Nearly an hour and a half. Wow. I've done some solid cleaning in that time. There we go. I think that's all the capacitors cleaned up. Obviously I can't do much about that one because its traces are just gone. But all the other ones look all pretty good now. Just going to give that another little go over. So I definitely would have liked to in this video be able to test this, but I think there's just too much damage down on that like board down in there. It's going to need, as you sort of said, it's going to need lots of trace repairs. And even then, I think even if you do trace repairs, there's vias stuffed. So I don't know whether, like, it's not salvageable probably. Just going to have a quick look at Bruce's site recap. A Mac. Yeah, so what do we got? It's basically just a whole bunch of 47 UF 16 volts and one UF 50 volt. Which is that smaller one there for C6. Everything else are the 47 16 volt ones. Okay. Yeah. Look, hi Pentium MMX, welcome. I am with you. Originally this was an attempt to maybe start repairing it, but I think the more and more I've got into this, the more and more I think it's got some serious dramas there. So the thinking at the moment is that I'll end up reloading, getting the board reloaded onto a new board. Most of the components on this top part of the board are in really good condition. All of them as far as we can tell, and even all of this part here, it's just really the damage is just this ROM, these three chips there, the MUX chips, and obviously the missing components and stuff there. So I think it'll end up being reloaded. But I'm just getting some practice in while I've got this going, just to practice my soldering skills is what I'm doing at the moment. And may as well put the new capacitors on there. So I'm just going to grab a... You want me to have a look at the floppy? Okay, hold on 1 second. I will need to get that down. So let's have a squiz at what other damage is in. Oh, I'll just sit that there for the moment. Ugh. Move this out of the way. Change my view back to that one. I'll have a look at the floppy now, may as well. Oh. Probably makes more interesting content. You may as well just have a quick look at it and see. The problem is I don't know whether I'm going to be able to easily get this out. So I'm tempted to see whether this screw actually works, because that's what's holding it in. You know, looking at that, I don't know if there's any damage in there. It doesn't look too bad. Attach that. Let's see where there's screw. Oh, here we go. Screw still works. I wasn't expect. I actually thought that was never wouldn't come out, but it's actually. She's a bit rusty. I think that screw's seen its day. This one. Let's see if this one's a bit stuck. No, that one's coming out easy. Definitely the metal will need a bit of work on it. There we go. Just going to detach that so I don't damage it. And oh, she's got a big ass, big head, heavy head. Flop, hard driving it, sorry. I don't think there's any damage to the floppy. I'll flip this around. Let me see if I can get the camera to be a bit further out so I get a better view. That one. So there's a little bit of damage, minor rust, but it looks like mostly surface rust. I'd say it's not very deep. I've seen a lot worse. Like it all still feels pretty sturdy. There's a bit of damage over here. This one's a bit rusted on both sides, but again, it's pretty sturdy. The brightness dial is all full of crud from inside there. Yeah, I'd say this is definitely good news is the case has survived quite well. So my guess, probably, based on the fact that that acid leaked through the board the way it did and went to the other side, I'd say the computer has been sitting on a shelf somewhere upright, correct way up, and that the battery just exploded. And like, I'm assuming when they go, those Maxwell batteries, they probably just go psst and just spray acid out of the top of them. But if I do some zoom in on this, the metal chassis for this definitely has got a bit of work needs to be done on it, but the actual logic board, I don't think it's got any damage actually. Like even these pins there, that spins nicely. A bit of dust and stuff inside it, but that's nothing. It's a bit of a servicing of the floppy drive. So maybe this floppy will be okay. And I don't think any of the acid got up to the hard drive, so I wonder if the hard drive spins. I want to test that. Can we do this? I think I have a power supply here. So what we're going to do is see whether this spins up. All right. 1, 2, 3. Nothing. What happened then? We got nothing. Because the pins that I have on my ATX power supply have fallen out. I just need to remember which pins I need to short to do is. Pins 4 and 5. Okay. Yes, I used to have a bit of wire in this, and it appears to have fallen out. Which is annoying. But we'll just do it with this one. Okay, so we'll just turn that back off again. So what did we say? We said 4 and 5. So that's that one and that one. All right, 1, 2, 3, power. All right, fan spinning in the power supply. Hard drive. Nothing happening. All right. Now, my general thing that I find with these power supplies, sorry, not the power supplies, hard drives, is they haven't been powered up for a while. They get stuck, and what I generally find, not something I'd recommend if you care about the data on the drive, but doing this is a bit of gentle spinning sometimes makes them go again. I need to permanently jump start this power supply better. Oh, there's definitely rust coming off of my hands. The hard drive clicks. Oh, it's making a few clicks. Let's maybe try to start. It goes click, click, click. Yeah, I think the drive motor is seized up, or it's stuck. Oh, I just flung the cable at my head. don't know where that went. Again, don't do this to a hard drive that you actually care about. I don't particularly care about the data on this drive. It's probably never going to end up in it. But I would be curious to see if I can get it to work. Yeah, same result again. Click, click, click. So this is well stuck. Generally speaking, these SE30 big drives like this, normally, like I sort of showed, a bit of light swinging around, normally get some spinning again, but then they normally get stuck again. But this one is well stuck. Okay, I'm going to give this one more. Good night, Will. I'll keep in touch with you. I'll be in touch. Let's have a chat about potentially this being a good reload candidate for you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting. It's been great having you here to have a chat today. Nice to talk to you in real time, and enjoy your Saturday evening. All right. Give this one more violent go. And if it makes the click click sound again, I'm feeling like this drive is not coming back without some more investigative work done on it. Oh, spinning. There we go. It's come unstuck. Can you hear that? Enjoy your Sunday, and yeah, I look. Are you gonna? Hopefully, if you stream that, I'll watch your video to see you finish the board. Yeah, hard tap. Well, obviously, I think my swinging around finally gave it the release it needed. Noisy old drive. Try it again. I've got a motorbike going past the front of my house at the same time as we turn this. Cool. I look forward to watching it. Be good to see it working. Cool. Well, there we go. Hard drive works. I'd be interested to see whether it's got data on it. What is it? 40 meg. Less than that 40 there. Well, I think that's... Oh, there we go. See, when I pulled those pins out, I lost power. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Yeah, it's reliably starting again. It'll be interesting to see in a few days whether this is still starting up. I'll have to put it in one of my working SE30s and actually see if it's got any data on it. I imagine it would. I think the people I bought this computer from, it had been his computer that he used to write his university stuff on, I think he told me. His daughter was selling his father's computer, but his father was there. Her father was there, sorry. And they were telling me like that they used to do all this uni work and stuff on it, and they've been in storage. So they said if I ever get it working to let them know. When I got home, I messaged them and I said, I don't know. I don't know whether this one will work again, but we'll see. Anyway, that drive works, so good. All right, I think that might do me for today. It's been a bit of a all over the place and having a bit of a chat while I've been doing it, but thank you for joining in and having a chat. It's been good. I think I've obviously cleaned up those pads nicely, got all the stuff off there, so that's good. I might actually do a bit of practice this week, just putting some capacitors on there just for my own practice purposes before I go up to this event next Saturday, sorry, up in Sydney for the Macageddon. But yeah, I think that is my, I reckon Will's right. There's far too much trace damage down here. Like you could potentially get it working just with a lot of work and a lot of effort, and the long-term reliability of the board is going to be questionable. But it's good that all of the damage is confined pretty much to this quadrant of the board here, this little section here, basically from RP8 down here and to this ROM chip. Those resistor packs are good. These chips don't look too bad. The floating point's good. Video ROM looks good. CPU looks good, and even where the rust was on the other side of the CPU looks good as well. So I think we've got a good candidate board here for a full reload. But we'll keep posted. I will do some more videos in this series over the coming weeks and months. I think my next video I want to try and do is about replacing, as I was saying earlier, the flyback inside a slot loader iMac. So I've got one pulled apart at the moment, and I'm going to try and put a new flyback on its analog board and see whether I can get that working. So that's my little test project. So I'll do some videos about that soon. But hopefully this has been vaguely interesting. Thank you for watching, and thank you for chatting today with me. It's been good, and I will post up when I'm next doing another video. And in the meantime, if you enjoyed, please like it, please subscribe. I'll do these random stuff from time to time. And obviously, I think next week, the Macageddon event in Sydney is going to be streamed, I believe, on the Australian Computer Museums Society's YouTube channel. And I think it's going to be on Bruce's Brankus Creations channel as well. So tune in there and see what all of those 7 Mac SE30s look like, and whether they're in this kind of battery bomb damaged state or in some better state or worse. So who knows, we'll see. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and yeah, thanks for joining in. I'll talk to you soon. See you later. Bye.